Uh, Hello, I am audible to all of you. Okay, thank you. Hello, everyone. A very good evening to all of you present here. Welcome to the today's webinar on navigating property law, mastering legal intricacies, and building a career in real estate law, organized by Legal Vidya. My name is Paras Joe, and I am the HR manager of Legal Vidya, and I am your host for the today's session. We are thrilled to have you join us as we explore this increasingly critical topic, which is becoming essential for the legal professionals and aspiring real estate law specialists. Building a successful career in property law requires a deep understanding of the evolving legal framework, along with key skills, knowledge, and strategies to navigate this area. Whether you are a law student, a practicing lawyer, or a professional looking to transition into the field of real estate law. This session will provide you with valuable insights. We will cover the essential qualifications, practical experience, and strategies needed to thrive in this sector. Property law offers vast career opportunities as a demand for legal expertise in real estate transactions. Zoning laws and disputes and property rights continues to grow. Today we will be focused on understanding the key concepts of property law, explaining the best career pathways, and learning how you can position yourself for growth in this field. This is an valuable opportunity for all stakeholders to enhance their understanding, improve career prospects, and contribute to the effective resolution of real estate challenges through legal expertise. Before we dive into this session, let me take a moment to introduce Legal Vidya to you all. Legal Vidya is established in the year of 2021. Legal Vidya is an online education platform that was committed to shaping the future of legal education. Our mission is to create opportunities that empower learners at every stage of their legal journey. We offer a wide range of programs, including internships, webinars, workshops, courses, seminars, conferences, meticulously designed to cater to diverse learning needs within the legal field. In addition, Legal Vidya provides a vibrant platform for individuals to showcase their expertise through article publications, fostering a thriving community of legal discourse, knowledge sharing, and innovation. At Legal Vidya, we believe in equipping aspiring legal professionals with the tools, insights, skills they need to succeed in rapidly evolving legal landscape. Together, we are building a brighter future for the legal fraternity. Now, it's my absolute pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker for today's webinar, is Ms. Vidushi Verma ma'am. Vidushi Verma ma'am is a distinguished legal professional with deep expertise in constitutional law and property laws. Recognized by her Recognized for her academic and professional excellence, her unwavering dedication to the legal field has earned her numerous accolades, including the gold medal for outstanding performance during her LLM program at National Law University, Odisha, NLU. This prestigious achievement reflects her commitment to academic rigor, analytical thinking, and her passion for contributing to the legal domain. Beyond her academic accomplishments, Vidushi's ma'am professional journey showcases her versatility and expertise. She has accumulated significant corporate experience in property laws and real estate laws, particularly during her tenure at HDFC Limited's housing finance. This role was pivotal in shaping our understanding of the intricate relationship between legal frameworks and their real-world applications. Vidushi ma'am gained invaluable hands-on experience in navigating housing finance regulations, also property documentation, title clearance, due diligence, and compliance requirements, offering her profound insights into the intersection of law, business, and society. Vidushi ma'am has actively contributed to the legal profession through research, writing, and advocacy. Her work bridges the gap between theory and practice, making her a sought-after expert in the ever-evolving fields of property law, real estate law, and constitutional law. She is particularly passionate about exploring the impact of legal policies on housing affordability, urban development, and social equity, demonstrating her commitment using the law as a tool for societal progress. As a dedicated mentor and guide, Vidushi ma'am is deeply invested in shaping the next generation of legal professionals. Her passion for mentoring and guiding aspiring lawyers has made her an inspiring figure in this field. She believes in equipping students and young professionals with not only theoretical knowledge but also practical skills and strategic perspectives necessary to excel in dynamic and competitive legal careers. A quick housekeeping note before we proceed. This webinar is being recorded and the recording will be shared with all the registrants in the 2 business days. I kindly request all the participants to keep their microphones muted and cameras off during the session. And please you save your questions for the end. A feedback form will also be shared during the webinar and we would greatly appreciate if you could take a moment to fill it out. And also please don't ask the feedback form. Our team will be provided during the session whenever it needed. Without further delay, let's extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speaker, Ms. Vidushi Verma, ma'am. We are excited to hear your thoughts. The floor is yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Paras. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Okay, thank you so much, Paras, and thank you so much to the platform of Legal Vidya. I really congratulate you guys for hosting such sessions, and such really valuable discussion is something that is required to the budding lawyers and the law students. So, a very good evening to everybody present here. And it's both an honor and a privilege for me to be a part of this webinar, to meet the young minds and to contribute my bit to the society and to the career profile of these students. As far as today's webinar is concerned, the topic itself says that navigating property laws, mastering legal intricacies, and building a career in real estate laws. So we'll be focusing on both the aspects of property law that one should study, and another is the career perspective. So whenever I meet students, I'm working as a professor of, and whenever I meet student and I ask them that what do you want to do outside law school? Getting into law school is something else. You crack your CLAT exam or your respective entrance tests, and then you enter the law school. Now, this vibrant world of law school will give you a number of opportunities. But from the day you enter law school, you should be very clear as to what do you want after your 5 year ends. After your LLB, your BA LLB, BCom LLB, BBA LLB, whatever course you're pursuing, what happens after that is something that should be there in your mind when you take your first step. And when I ask students generally that what do you want to do after that, the general response is that either I want to make a career in litigation, or I want to join a law firm, or probably I want to join academia. So whenever you give such answers, the next question that will follow is that in which field? And believe me, in today's world, the importance of specialization is something that you might not realize when you are in law school, but you'll realize it as soon as you step outside your law school. So students come to me and they answer that, ma'am, I want to make a career in civil laws. Or like civil law is my favorite subject, or probably criminal law is my favorite subject. Some of them have also told me that I'm interested in contractual relations, making a career in contractual relations. But see, these are just an umbrella terms. What in civil law? Civil law is not just your CPC. You cannot master CPC and you can say that, oh, I'm well versed in civil law. Or probably you can just study your CRPC, now Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. So your BNS, your BNSS, and you cannot say that I'm a professor in criminal law. You have to be very specific. And when this comes to property laws, the conundrum around property law is even more intense. The matrix of property law is such that you cannot just study TPA and be you cannot profess a career in Transfer of Property Act in itself, because it's just an act. You need to know a lot of things that are going around it. So see, the importance of specialization in today's world is something that will always give you an extra edge. And thus, sessions like these are very important. If when you're in a law school, what you're doing? You're studying books, you're studying notes, and you're passing particular exams. Now, when you pass an exam, what you are well versed with is the theory part. You can tell me the definition of mortgage. When if I ask you that what do you mean by mortgage, you can give me the section, you can give me the definition, you can tell me, oh ma'am, there are 6 types of mortgages. But if I ask you what sort of mortgage is prevalent in India, or probably everybody, I mean, if you have joined here in a session and if you're a law student, you can easily tell what is a simple mortgage. But if I tell you that, oh, if there are 6 types of mortgage, which sort of mortgage is something that banks will do? Or probably if you give me the definition of lease, that I know what lease is. Or probably if you are a very master, if you master the subject, you can tell me the difference between lease and license. But if I ask you the actual question, the practicality of it, that, oh sir, do you know what is the stamp duty of executing a rent agreement? Or do you know how to go forward with a license agreement, and when should we go for lease and when should we go for license? So these are the things that you'll only understand when you'll hear from an expert, probably, or when you'll practice it yourself. I would prefer doing it the other way. Practice it yourself and then you'll understand. But before practicing, again, you cannot just go and enter every field and try your luck there. That, okay, fine, for 2 months I'll try civil litigation. Oh, it's not suiting me. Then after 2 months I'll do criminal litigation. Oh, again, it's not suiting me. So, okay, I'll try my career in property laws. This is something that will not only destroy your profile, and it will also cause a bad impact. I mean, you cannot be jack of everything. Jack of all trades and master of none is not something that will work, especially in legal domain in the current scenario. So, this was the purpose of hosting this session. You should always focus on specializing in a field. Now, as far as the property laws are concerned, see, there are very new avenues. Actually, I'm getting certain questions, sir. Mohammed Farhan, sir, I'll take all the questions by the end of the session. So you can post it in the chat group or one by one. As Paras prefers, I'll take the questions. So, see, there are a lot of new avenues also in property laws. I mean, you people must be aware of, earlier it was just lease. I'm just giving an example that if you want a house on rent, you go for a lease agreement. Now there is a new scope of co-working spaces, co-living spaces. So see, the laws are something, law is, we say that every law student is well aware of this particular line, that law grows with the growth of society. So as things change, law also changes. I think 5 years before, if somebody tells, somebody would have said that what about homosexual relations, everybody was a bit, people were holding it as like a taboo. Now after Navteej Jhaw's case, it's an okay thing in the society. Probably similarly, see, the homosexual marriage was sort of kept in abeyance in the Suprio case, but in days to come it might also be another avenue. So see, law grows with the society. And property law is also growing in a tremendous space. So, I mean, if I ask you, how do you feel that the economy is doing currently in India? Anybody can answer that. Do you think the economy is going great, or the economy is not going that great, average? Any response in the chat box? So, yeah, I got a response from Kashish Khanna and Mahima. Not going great, average, 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 average. Correct. It's not that great. But is real estate price going down because of that? I don't think so. I mean, I can tell you about Delhi NCR, it's not going down at all. Yeah, so I'm getting the answers, average, average. Yeah. But real estate prices are not going down. So see, the relationship, according to me, of law and economy is something that law is inversely proportional to your economy. As much as the economy will go down, the more and more legal disputes will come up. And it's a better avenue for all the legal professionals to use that gap, to use this thing that, yes, the economy is not doing that great, legal disputes are increasing, and here is where we say that there's a white space of more professionals. Same thing happened with data privacy. I mean, we do not have that specialization currently in India. VPDP Act is there. Yesterday, DPDP rules came. Do we have the data protection officers in India? No, we are yet to hire them. So there is a scope. Similar thing happens in the real estate laws as well. But when we say real estate laws, what do we mean by that? Transfer of Property Act is there. See, but there are n number of acts that you have to study and that you have to be proficient in before making a career in real estate laws. When Contract Act came in 1872, before that there was no law of contractual relations because people were not entering into contractual relations that much. Even if it was happening in a very informal way. There were customary rules of every religion. Hindu people were governed by Hindu laws, Muslim people were governed by Muslim laws. Probably there were customary laws. Abhi, if you are aware of this thing, the Sindh and Baluchistan region was the main trade port. So they had their own customary laws, which were regulating the business. And another reason for that was our economy was an agrarian economy. Mainly, majorly based on agriculture. Everybody was growing their own land, growing in their own land, reaping the fruits, eating it, probably selling it, but it was not that proficient. When in 18th, not exactly 18th, 17th, 18th century, trade and commerce started growing up, there was a need. There were rising legal disputes. So if I'm not wrong, it was the Charter Act of 1833 that said that we need to consolidate rules. And it was basically Section 53 of your Charter Act 18 that said that we need to consolidate laws. Specifically, we need to make a Law Commission of India which can consolidate laws. And thus the Law Commission came into force in 1835. It was the third Law Commission in 1861 that came up with the first draft of your contractual code. And thus the Contract Act came into force. And after that, the contractual relations were regulated mostly. But if you see a Contract Act, if you see the preamble of the contract, it says, whereas it is expedient to define and amend. Expedient to define and amend. That means this act is just defining. And in future, if there is any change required, it will amend. Now, juxtapose this preamble of your Transfer of Property Act has the same preamble, whereas it's expedient to define and amend. But if you juxtapose it with your preamble to, let's say, Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita or the Civil Procedure Code, it says to consolidate and amend. Here it was to define. Here the word uses to consolidate. Now, what's the difference? Because this is a code. When the word consolidate is used, consolidate means to bring together everything into one code. Does your Contract Act doing that? No, it is just defining. And Contract Act also gives you a scope that if the contract is already between two parties, you do not need to use all the rules of contract there. I mean, same thing happens in your TP. Transfer of Property Act, your TPA. In TPA, wherever the duties and liabilities of seller is given, or duties and liabilities of mortgager and mortgagee is given, it says that if there is no contract, then you can use these duties and liabilities. But if there's already a contract, then that particular contract will be applicable. So you see, if you want to make a career in real estate laws, TPA is already there. You need to also be well versed in your Contract Act, because there's a contract between both the parties. What is a sale deed? What is a deed? What is your sale agreement, sale deed, your rent agreement, your lease deed, your conveyance deed? These deeds are what? These are just a set of contracts. It's a set of contract which is defining what sort of nature and what sort of duties and liabilities will exist between the two parties. So in order to understand that, you have to be well versed in your Contract Act. So TPA is one, contract is two. Secondly, there's stamp duty that you have to pay when you are going for registration. Now, first of all, when you're going for registration, your Registration Act is there. Your Section 17 and 18 of Registration Act says that what properties needs to be registered and what not to be registered. Even your, I guess TP also, I'm sure, not guess, TP also throws light on that if there's a property worth more than worth rupees 100, then it is registration is mandatory. Now, I do not believe that there will be a property less than rupees 100 in India currently, which you can take without registration. So basically, registration is mandatory. Your memorandum of deposit is mandatory in certain states. Your mortgage deed. So see, though the law varies from state to state, it is a mandatory thing predominantly. So you have to be well versed with the Registration Act. So fourthly, your Stamp Act. Stamp Act again varies from state to state. Stamp duty varies from state to state, and stamp duty varies from the status of the person undergoing registration also from state to state. Some states give a relaxation for women. Some states provide relaxation to a ex-serviceman. Relaxation to probably senior citizen. So you have to be very well versed if you're, especially if you're practicing in Delhi NCR. So if you are going for a registration of property in Noida or Greater Noida, Ghaziabad, then your UP rules will be applicable. If you are going for a registration of property in Delhi, then your Delhi rules will be applicable for Gurgaon, Haryana. So you have to be very well versed with these acts. Fourthly, apart from these acts, certain builder contracts or developer contracts consist of a provision of arbitration or conciliation and mediation at times. Mediation rarely, but mostly arbitration. So your Arbitration Act comes into play. Now you have to be very well versed with how arbitration takes place, because you cannot be there standing as a counsel saying, sorry, I'm not very well versed with arbitration. I can do the other things. And then comes the most important thing, RERA, the Real Estate Regulatory Act. I mean, RERA changed the entire picture altogether of your real estate avenues. The real estate picture in India is completely changed. And I'll come to RERA later on. I mean, we'll discuss the importance of RERA, but predominantly, if I say that, when you say that I want to make a career in transfer of property laws, real estate laws, these bouquet of laws are awaiting you. You have to be very well versed with everything, and then only you can go forward. As I said, TPA, the dimension of TPA is also changing in a great manner. I mean, if I think we have a mixed audience today, but I can hope that mostly they're law students. And I have personally came across this common status that my language of TPA is very confusing. TPA is one act, the definition of which is hardest to learn. You cannot mug TPA. You can mug the definition of mortgage, you can mug the definition of sale, lease, etc. If I ask you what does TPA says about the rule of accumulation, give me the exact thing. I mean, there will be students, of course. Doctrine of election. How many of you can tell me section 51 of TPA? It's very confusing. It's very confusing to learn it itself. And TPA in itself, when I say, see, TPA is defining, as I said, it's defining. There are, we also enumerated the laws that we have to study with it. But then comes one set of law that changes the entire dimension, and that's the land laws of particular state, your revenue codes. Rent acts, like Rajasthan Rent Control Act is there. You study that, it's a completely different thing from TPA. TPA is just telling you what is a lease and what to do in case the lessor and the leasee is not having a particular contract. What should be the duration of lease? That's it. You go to the Rent Control Acts, the UP Rent Control or your Rajasthan Rent Control, and you see that it's a completely different thing. They are just locality wise, there's a difference. There's a difference in duration also in certain particular state land laws. There is a difference in rate of rent and rate of particular land. Then there is your land valuation things. How to ascertain, like, I'll just give you a brief picture that what is the current real estate situation, especially in Delhi NCR. See, I belong to this place, so I can tell you an example of this place, but I'm sure if you go ahead and find of your particular location, you'll be amazed. So, I mean, if I Gurgaon, the mean rate, if we can put an idea, I mean, there are obviously certain sectors. In Gurgaon also, there are different, there is DLF Camellia also. 100 crores, no question asked. But then there are other areas as well. So, I mean, what can be the mean rate? Average rate we can say is 15,000 to 17,000 per square feet. Ghaziabad, Siddharth Vihar is a very newly, I mean, I would call it a newly developed space. But what is the rate? 10,000, 11,000, probably 12,000 square feet per square feet. Even Rajnagar extension is touching your 7,500 to around that rate per square feet. So who determines these rates? And if these rates are going on, how to ascertain the market value of a particular land? I suppose I bought a land, says your client bought a land. I'll use the word client because I'm not here to provide consultancy to the students. I'm here to tell you how to make a career. So if your client, let's say, asks you that, okay, I went to see let's say a 3 BHK. I'll take an example of Ghaziabad. And the person has bought that particular flat, let's say 2 years back, in 60 lakhs. And currently he's quoting me 1 CR or like 1.5 CR. So what should I do? Should I invest in this or should I not? So you being the consultant there has the duty to find the market price, to see. See, we got another example here. Ghaziabad land prices 25,000. Yes, sir. It varies from place to place. I'm telling you, and it is escalating day by day. Today he's telling us that Ghaziabad plot rate is 25,000 per square feet. Wait for 2 months. It'll again escalate. So that's what I'm telling you here. There's a huge gap of legal professionals to make a career there. And we'll come to the career aspect. So when your client comes to you and asks you that, is it okay, sir? And trust me, I know legal professionals are there just to provide legal advice and to ensure that the compliance is there, but your client will ask you everything. Your client will even ask you that whether this sort of furnishing is okay or not, and may even ask you the number of an interior designer. And you cannot say that, sorry, sir, that's not my expertise, because we are sitting here to serve you. We are here to provide a whole package. And if you will not provide, somebody else will provide. So you have to be very clear with these things, these aspects as well, that what is the prevalent market price. Now, how to ascertain that? There are land laws. There are land laws that put a ceiling limit. There's a land law that puts the lower limit. But there are also market practices. See, law students must be aware with this. Law and society goes hand in hand. There is not a single profession in legal world wherein you can say that I don't care about the market practices. I don't care about what is going in the society. I'll just focus on what's written in front of me. Because that's not an excuse for us. So the dimensions of law is changing I won't even use the word fourfold manner. I would say in a 100x manner. As I mentioned before, the co-living spaces, the co-working spaces, it was not a concept, I'd say 5 years before this, but it's a concept now. Even for builders and developers, this was a new thing. Your hostels that are being developed, it's a very new concept. And thus, it's very important for us to always stay on track, to always be updated about the new practices that are going on. So, as I said earlier also, I mentioned the word RERA. So, RERA came somewhere in the year 2016. And why did RERA come? And what is the implication of RERA? What changed after RERA and what happened before RERA is very important when we are talking about property laws. So, see, earlier, maybe people... I mean, if you are not aware, you can ask your parents, they must be aware. The issue of benamdari transactions was there. Then there was an issue of benamdari was a common thing. Your zamindari was a common thing earlier in India. Your GPA transaction, people who have a career or who are a working professional might be aware of GPA transactions. What is a GPA transaction? Or like a power of attorney transaction. Whenever the seller, it's a very common thing. If you practice real estate laws, you'll come across these things. Ma'am, seller foreign mein hai, land is here, and he wants to sell it. But last moment pe flight cancel ho gaya. Ma'am, last moment pe visa nahi mila. And therefore, he's executing a power of attorney to somebody here, and that person is selling. Or probably, ma'am, same agreement ki jagah, can we go with a power of attorney for a trusteeship agreement? So these are very common things. Supreme Court denied that this GPA transactions won't work in India. I mean, if people are aware, Suraj Lamb's case, go through that case law and you'll understand what is a GPA transaction and why power of attorney was causing a problem here. But these things did happen in India. And then government somewhere in, I would say, 2010, 2008 came up with the affordable housing for all concept. Now, if we are providing an affordable housing for all, as I said, the difference in this affordable housing thing and the normal housing thing, you need to understand these things. And as I've already said, as economy shifts its flow, legal people enjoys it the most. So more the houses, more the demand, more the supply, and then more the disputes. So this is what was happening earlier. Then government came up with a thing that no, we need to regulate the real estate market. There's a lot of problems happening. Also, a common problem happening was that you pay. See, for those who do not understand the whole picture, for a builder purchase scenario, or whenever you're purchasing a new flat from a builder or from a developer, you enter into a builder buyer agreement if the property is under construction. Now the builder or the person, you pay money as per the development of the structure. So on plinth level, there is like 10%, 20%, then the first floor construction this month, then the second, then the fourth, and it goes on. It depends from builder to builder how they want the money flow to happen. Suppose you booked a flat in an under construction building, and then you paid at say like 4-5 installments. You took a loan, and or you didn't take a loan, you're just paying the installments. And after, let's say, 12 floors, builder is nowhere to be found. Sorry, the builder went bankrupt or builder ran away, cannot be traced. He was not a good builder. Now, how do you know that he's a good builder or not, or what to do when he ran away? This thing was very prevalent. This particular act was very prevalent earlier before RERA. And there comes the importance of RERA. So your RERA came in the year 2016, and it made certain rules that made regulate the real estate market. I'd say probably it now not just regulates the builder's performance or the builder's side, but it also regulates your developers, your promoters, and even for a customer perspective, it's an wholesome act. It covers all these avenues, I'd say. So it made certain changes, like if your property is more than 500 square meters, then it is compulsorily RERA registrable. And you can go and check your RERA of your particular state. Like UP RERA is there, RERA Bihar is there. RERA is there for particular states. You can go there. There's a search bar. You just put the name of the particular part, apartment, or if it's like a plotted society containing a lot of areas or such, you can just put the name or the name of the builder, and you will get the entire thing, that who is this builder, how many promoters are there in the developer's company, what is the prescribed square meter area, how much money he is investing, how many floors will be there. And you will, another important thing is that you'll also find the details of the land holding. That builder is getting this land from where? There can be a landowner's agreement. Landowner's agreement is when landowners give the land to the builder that you can construct the property on my land, and in return they can ask for flats in that particular building or whatsoever, probably partially money and then partially the flats or number of flats, or probably builder floor or whatsoever is there in between. How to find this above information? So it's there on the RERA website. Sorry, I'm not looking into the questions much right now when I'm speaking, but I'll address all the questions. I don't know why people are discussing the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita there. It's a property law webinar. I hope that we stay on track. So yes, RERA website, you can Google it. UP RERA, Bihar RERA, RERA, and then your state's name, and it will come up. In there, there's a search bar there for every state. Probably in the society that you're living in, you can put it in that particular thing, and then you can search, and then you'll get the details. You'll also get the details of how many projects this builder has done before. It's all in the search thing. So this has made it more comfortable for people to also understand where I'm going to invest, and for builder also, because it shows that what is the date when this building will be ready. So it's a tentative thing. Builders do get extensions, mind it. They can get extensions from RERA also if the building is not complete, but at least there's something to control this. Apart from there, this thing, as I said, the builders were running away with the money of people. So RERA also put this one very nice provision which says that 70% of the money that has been paid to the builder will go into an escrow account. Now, what is this escrow account? This escrow account will be maintained by builder, so that in case of any default, it's just a security money, that in case of any default or anything, at least we have 70% of the money with us to do something, to go for litigation, or to return it to the home buyers. I know 70% is not enough, but at least there's a sort of regulation. And plus, more than these things, there's a penal provision for default. There's punishment provision in RERA. Then there is RERA authority established. For those who do not know, RERA is your real estate regulatory authority. And then there's an appellate tribunal. That tribunal is also, and the authority, both are given powers of a civil court to ensure that they can hold their proceeding in a much serious manner, so that home buyers can get quick relief in this. After that, if I do not want to go RERA, sorry sir, my problem is not covering in RERA. I have a particular problem with that builder. I got my flat. Now my builder is not helping me. Initially, maintenance is with the builder and the builder is troubling me. Or probably builder is causing some issues with the parking that has been allotted to me. The flat is not in a proper condition and the builder is not hearing. Now what to do? You have your consumer protection. So your Consumer Protection Act is there to protect you. And you can go in your district consumer forum, probably after that your state consumer forum, then your national consumer forum. Then there's an option of a civil proceeding also, if your particular case is falling into that. Then after that, probably arbitration is there in certain builders. I would say certain premium builders I have particularly seen this, if there are certain premium builders in Bangalore, in Delhi also. I mean, DLF is there. I don't know if the DLF provides for arbitration thing, but Shobha Realty is there, a Bangalore's builder. That they always have an arbitration clause first, and then they go for the litigation. So that's there. So that is a sort of relief that is available to the person. So you see, after RERA has come, IBC also recognizes home buyer as the financial creditors. So since a lot of builders are right now going bankrupt and they are announcing that, that's also a very good provision. Even your tier 1, tier 2 builders are going into bankruptcy and insolvency, and you never know. Probably Ajnara is a very common builder. Shed Ajnara went into bankruptcy. Now what to do? There's so many, for Delhi NCR people, they must be aware of this thing. Ajnara is a very premium builder. Went into bankruptcy. Now what to do? You have booked a flat. So laws are trying to cover all the loopholes there. And law is there to help people, but then we need law professionals to ensure that that help is going to the proper person who wants the relief there. So see, the avenues are there, as I mentioned, and the market is expanding, and the new people are required every now and then. Now we come to the point that where make a career in this, because that is what the major part of this webinar is. If you have questions regarding probably a transaction or something, that is something that we can discuss when we are discussing typically property laws. But when we are talking about the career aspect in that, then we need to see that where can we make our space in this industry. So from customer perspective, as I said, your Consumer Protection Act is there, there's RERA, there's NCLT is there for IBC. For your civil proceedings, you can be a civil litigant as well. So for customer perspective, from the customer perspective, these are the areas where the services are required. Another thing is your real estate consultant. There's a lot of real estate brokerage going on in India currently. A lot of brokerage firms are there, and these firms require a person from a legal background to give the legal advice to the person who's buying land. So that sort of option is also there for the students. Apart from that, when I say that RERA is regulating builders, your builders and developers, there are a hi-fi party. And RERA being a latest law, see, whenever there's a latest law, I always mention this, always a huge scope of making a career in that. That's why I mentioned your data privacy. DPDP rules came just yesterday. Who knows how to regulate that? Who knows how to work in that? Even if somebody, I don't know if you people have gone through those rules, still not holistic in my view. Still not very holistic and covering all the avenues of data privacy and your I'll mention their AI issues. So this avenue, whenever there's a new law, there are new avenues. So where RERA came in, now builder has to go for the registration of the builder, registration of the property. To ensure the compliance of that, who will help it? A legal professional will help it. Whenever a property is being developed by a builder, there's n number of clearance that is needed. You need your environmental clearance, you need your clearance from airport authorities to go above certain height. You need your fire clearance, you need your water clearance, you need land clearance, you need land approval from the authority. You need to ensure that the land holdings are clear. You need to ensure that the land holdings are without encumbrance. There was no previous loan taken on that particular land. You need to check the title of that land. Who will do that for a builder? The legal person on the legal team of the builder. So there's a scope of working as a professional there. Then there are finance projects. Finance projects as in, not everybody buys a property by their own money. They go for housing finance. Who does this housing finance? There are banks. Your SBI is there, ICICI is there, HDFC is there. And then there are NBFCs, your non-banking financial companies. Then there are your small finance bank, AU Small Finance is there, Utkarsh Small Finance is there. These are just examples. Then there are certain developing companies who are developers, but they are also entering into the field of housing finance. Godrej is one such. Piramal is there. Hiranandani is there for people who are from Maharashtra in itself. Piramal and Hiranandani are prominent there, now making a entrance in Delhi market also and being prevalent there. Godrej does it. For Godrej also promotes their own when you go to buy your land in that area. So in these companies, they need legal professionals to ensure the smooth functioning of the housing finance procedure. Now, what do these people do? As I said in the beginning of a session, what sort of mortgage does a bank do? I mean, there are 6 types of mortgages, right? I'll not ask you all the 6 types of mortgages. It'll take a lot of time, but you can type it if you know it. So there's your simple mortgage, NMLS, usufructuary mortgage, mortgage by the deposit of title deeds, English mortgage. But whenever this thing comes up, that what sort of mortgage does bank do? If you ask a banking person, they'll always say equitable mortgage. Now the law student in us who have always been stuck in the theory side will be like, what is equitable mortgage? It is not there in TPA. What is equitable mortgage? How to sort this? Now, what is this new thing that the bank is doing? So, equitable mortgage, more or less mortgage by deposit of title deed. But for that, we need another documentation. It's memorandum of deposit. Now, this MOD that the bank takes when you are going for an equitable mortgage. Now, this MOD is also registrable in particular in certain states. Certain states does not make it registrable. No, compulsorily registration is not there in certain states. I won't say that there's any state that says that no, you don't need to register that. There's an option. So these things, when this happen, then certain banks, if your land holding is not very clear of the previous owner, will ask you to go for your registered mortgage. Now, what is this registered? Again, a new term, registered mortgage. This is also not there in TPA. What is this? This is nothing. It's just a simple mortgage which is being registered. So these sections are there. See, you can go either as an legal advisor to these banks or legal accessories to these banks, wherein you are working as an advocate and you help their clients to go for registered mortgage, or let's say the registration part of it. You can help the banks in the registration part of it as their onboard counsel or the legal advisor or paneled advocate, as we see. As we normally use the word is paneled advocate. You can do that. Or you can work as an in-house counsel. Now, what does the role of an in-house counsel majorly deals with is your title due diligence. Even if you're working as a panel advocate, title due diligence is there. Now, what is the title due diligence? Suppose a person is buying a land and wants to take a loan on that particular land. What does bank has as a security? That particular land or that particular flat or that particular house. बैंक के पास just one option है कि अगर कल को this person is running away without paying me EMI, what will I do? I'll just sell off this particular thing. So that's my security. If it's a registered mortgage, it's a registered simple mortgage, more security to the bank. But if it's an unregistered thing, then what am I holding? I'm holding your sale deed document and I'm holding a memorandum of deposit. Now, it's not that easy for bank to go for sale or to go for the development of the sale proceed to collect money from the sale proceeding. It is not that simple. It's not just about the procedure. It's also about the amount of money that the bank is putting into in doing this procedure. And bank does not want to do that, or your NBFC does not want to do that. That's why everybody goes for a title due diligence, wherein the chain title of that particular land is checked. Now, with this chain title, suppose I am buying land today, which is 5th of January 2025. How much should I check? Suppose that this flat was bought by a previous owner, let's say 3 years back. So I saw that document. Okay, fine. I have an original sale deed, that sale deed, and the sale deed that will be executed between me and the buyer, the seller, is there with the bank. 3 years title check. Cool, we can go forward for the funding of that particular land. But no, what if that was a litigated land? That person executed the sale deed under any fraud or let's say deceit, and now he's selling me. Probably I know, and I have joined hands with this person, and we both are in plans of running away with the money. I'll take loan. See, this flat is I'd say 1 year. I want a 60 lakhs loan, or let's say 70 lakhs loan, and 30 lakhs I'll give myself, and I'll run away with the 60 or 70 lakhs. Who will keep a check? And what will bank have? If it's a litigated property, bank cannot also go and sell it. If it's owned by somebody else, now what will bank do? People who have studied TPA must have known this particular case. PE Guzdar and Lloyd Bank. This case was all about this thing. This happened there. And now this is happening very frequently. So bank does a title check of, mostly I'd say private bank goes for 13-year chain. And some of the government bank even go for 30-year chain. Now, why 13 years? Why? I mean, people have asked these questions. If you have any idea about why 13-year chain or why 30-year chain is checked, you can write it in the box. So, no idea. Okay, it's fine. Are you aware of Limitation Act? Does it say something about the mortgage? That in how many years can somebody claim a property or can claim interest in a property? It's 12 years. So the private bank are taking, because see, good, Aman replied, and yeah, I'm now getting Rakhi, Vedant, 12, 12, 12, Priyanka. Yes, so it's 12 years. So private banks, see, they need business. So they are taking 1 year extra and taking that call there. 13 year we have checked, now nobody can comment on this, I'll finance it. Government banks take an extra step, 30-year. Why? Because prescription is there. If anybody is aware of the law of prescription, 30-year is generally checked. 30-year is also a good practice. If you're buying your own property, check it thoroughly. So yeah, so that is there. Now who will check this? An in-house legal counsel will check it, right? So there's a scope of career there. Possibly, if even if I have a paneled advocate, if I'm a bank and if I'm a paneled advocate, can I trust that paneled advocate? Can I trust a panel advocate who is already impaneled in 3 banks that whatever title due diligence he will do is good enough for my bank to fund it? No, I need a double checking. Who will do that? The legal counsel will do that. Your in-house legal counsel will do that. Suppose somebody ran away with the and not paying the EMI. Now comes the scope of your restructuring of the loan. That how to get maximum amount of money bank. Who will do that? In-house legal counsel will do that. How to do that? It can either be a mediation thing that TK will call the customer that, sir, please come back, meet us once. We will not hold you as a hostage here in the bank and sell off your things. Please come and let's discuss. How much money can you give? What is your situation? See, not everybody runs off with a bad intention. Sometimes it's a family issue. Sometimes something happened. The sole bread earner is not there. How to pay back? My financial conditions are not that I can pay EMI. And mind you, EMIs of housing loans are pretty high. So these things can happen. So bank can call and do that. Otherwise, what we can do? DRT is there, your Debt Recovery Tribunal. SARFAESI Act is there for out of the court settlement. Your in-house, if you want to solve it in-house, that's there. Civil laws are there. Again, I'll go the same thing. Your SARFAESI, DRT, again IBC is there. A number of options are there. So who will advise that what's the best suited condition for this? Your in-house counsel. Who should I trust more? My in-house counsel. Yes, Lok Adalat is there. N number of legal remedies are there. But who will advise what is the most appropriate thing? Your in-house counsel will do that. Now, this is one avenue. Now there are taxation portfolios. Your developers, your builders, they also pay tax. They need legal ideas and advice for that particular thing. So your taxation avenue is always there. Again, your customer is also paying the taxes and the duties and the registration costs. So there also there's an advisory thing. See, I told you much before in the session that if your customer is hiring you as a legal consultant for real estate, he's going to ask you for every information. And this information is something that legal person should know. That capital gain tax kab lagega. I am not that proficient in tax law. I apologize for that. But people who are very well versed in taxation law will tell you कि sir इतना कर दो ना, on paper तो price इतना रखो, market price, tax से बचोगे. So see, law का काम यही है. Your legal professional is there to give you the most advice, I would say. Your job is not to give the most legally sound advice. Your job is also to give the most legally sound advice, which is the most apt and for the benefit of your customer. Then only he'll pay you. So in order to know that, you need to be well aware of that. And there's a scope of that also. Your CAs and your CAs, chartered accountants, are very well versed with that. And they also hire legal people for these things. Because as I said, law is changing. And we need to be very well updated with these things. Then the builders, there you people who are in this area, or even if you are normally, okay, I got an insight here, tax gain will be applicable when we sell a property in a higher price except for the original. Yes. So see, there's a scope there. Now, uh, at times when a builder starts a project, okay, midway he finished, then for some reasons he cannot finish it, so the property is just lying there. Then another builder will step in to develop it further. Probably two building firms were there and they enter into a merger, or let's say one acquired the other. So there's a scope of merger acquisition takeovers also. M&A is also something that a lot of corporate firms practices. That's why I said that to all those people who say that after my law school I'm going to make a career in law firms. What will you do in law firms? Be very clear with that. Ki, I want to enter merger and acquisition. I want to enter into dispute resolution. I want to enter into the real estate advisory. I want to enter in the tax portfolio. Be very clear. There are n number of avenues. And every law firm does a different kind of work. There are also law firms that are working in litigation, your litigation firms. So you need to be very clear with this. And you also need to be very clear about not just the laws, obviously about the laws, but in addition to that, what are the stakeholders in the market that's going to ask for my help? And where can I make a better aspect, where I can make a better profession for me, where I can gain most, and how? So these are the avenues that you have to keep in mind. There are a number of avenues more available there. I won't deny that for every profession. Academia, I am a property law professor. You can make a career in academia as well. So the question that you have asked me is a question that you're asking from a legal consultant, that if I mortgage my land to the bank, then can I build a house on that? Yes, you can. There are, this is a very off topic thing, but yes, you can. There is a plot loan and there is a plot plus construction loan. You should visit your bank and ask more. I'm not sitting here as a HDFC professional here. I'm just giving you an advice on how to make a career. Yes, according to the banking notes, true. So your loan document will consider these pointers, that what you can do after you're taking a loan and what you cannot do after taking a loan. So see, these are the avenues that are available to every law students. And you can go ahead, see, for litigation perspective and for consultancy perspective, it's all up to you. It's your personal choice and you can any day go ahead, probably register your firm. If you do not want to register a firm, you can do an individual practice and provide an individual consultancy. If you want to work in the banks, there are openings in the banks, probably campus placement, or openings that are generally advertised, you can apply through that. For government banks, there are different exams. It's all up to you. For empanelment as a lawyer, you need to have certain years of practices, and that varies from bank to bank. Depends upon which bank you are visiting. You can visit the particular bank and say that, yes, I'm a lawyer and I've been practicing in the area of property laws, and you can go ahead with that. So to sum up this discussion, I hope that this was an informative session for the students who are there and as well as for the professionals who are there. I tried my best to sum up what all the laws you have to consider and what all career avenues are there and what all perspectives are there. I tried to cover them all. Obviously, it was just in 1 hour session, and it's very difficult to cover everything in a 1 hour session. Probably if Paras agrees and if Legal Vidya agrees, we can have more sessions like that. That we'll discuss later. But yes, I tried my best to sum up everything in this particular amount of time that I had. And thank you so much. It was a wonderful experience for me. And it's always great to help young minds and to foster and inculcate the values in these young minds. It's a wonderful experience for me. So Paris, you can take over from here and you can guide them how to address questions. And if we have time for questions, I'm so sorry. It just took a longer duration. I realized it later. But yes.
If ma'am, if you can say yes, I can proceed with the questions.
Yes, you may.
First question is, ma'am, how can we get the best area of interest from the starting time of career?
See, your first year, and if I may talk on behalf of the 5-year law students, because 3-year law students from the very first day of your law school, you deal with the core law subjects. But for a 5 year law student, if you are doing a BA LLB, then you'll have to study your sociology, history, etc., language. For BBA students, they have to study your HR, organization behavior, BCom also organization behavior, etc., etc. So, as a law student, you have 5 years of time in your hand. You can study as much as possible. You can see if you like the laws or not. See, I'll tell you my example. I knew one thing for sure, that criminal law is not my forte, because I didn't like how I decided that. I loved reading criminal law and I loved the theoretical part of it. But when it comes to the practical part of it, I personally had certain reservations. I'm telling you my perspective. I'm not advising anybody to run away with from criminal law. I'm telling you my perspective. Now, similarly, when it came to business law and when it came to banking laws, or banking laws was still good, taxation law, I was not at all interested in that. So you can find your area of interest by seeing whether are you comfortable with the theory part plus the practical part. Never ever go with only focusing on the theory part, because the practical aspect of it might astound you and you might be completely confused for the rest of your life. Do not choose a career that is constantly putting you in a dilemma. Be very clear with that. See both aspect. 5 year time is a huge amount of time for you to read every aspect of it and see it. Secondly, I would say always consider the financial growth of a market. Do not choose an area of specialization without seeing the financial aspect of it, because at the end of the day, you should earn, and while you're earning, you should learn, and while you're earning and learning, you should also learn love your job. Loving your job is very important. If you do not love your job, you cannot focus on it, especially in law. It's very, very, very tough to not love your laws and then being a legal professional. So you have 5 years of time. Take it slow, experience it. Your internships are a good source of you to source for you to understand the practical aspect of it. So go through that and then decide.
The next question is from Sri Hari ma'am. Had doubt given the rapid changes in property law, especially with the rise of digital real estate transactions and online platforms. What are the key legal challenges you foresee for real estate lawyers in the next decade, and how can young lawyers best prepare to navigate these evolving complexities?
Okay, that's a really good question, because that's what I always believe, that when you are talking about any area of law, your digital transformation that is there in this particular era, you should always consider that. So see, as far as the real estate law is concerned, and I would say that it's not just the real estate that is being affected by the digital transformation, it's also about the payment procedure, the registration procedure, your stamp duty paying ka jo bhi procedure, your entire procedures that goes in, your financing procedures, housing financing procedures, mortgage procedures, sale procedures, everything is going under a huge change. Maharashtra and all, if there's somebody from Maharashtra, they can confirm also. A lot of registration work in Maharashtra has gone online. And even in Delhi NCR, this is happening. A lot of changes are there. So see, whenever these sort of changes are there, we need professionals who are very well versed with these procedures. And this is especially expected from the budding lawyers. If you are an impaneled advocate and tomorrow you tell me that, sorry, ma'am, I cannot do the registration of, I cannot go for the digital registration, or I do not know how to work in the revenue website of my state, or I do not know how to file taxation, I do not know how to file my tax receipts, I do not know how to file municipal tax online, then sir, you are losing your clients there. You have to be very well versed with that. Everything, your housing tax is online now. Your mutation is online now. Mutation, for those who do not know, when you buy a land, you also have to mutate the title name of that land in the particular office. Everything is online. You can also check it. If I'm living in plot number 101, how many people lived before me? As in, how many people got 101 registered before me? You can check that as well. And law always says that ignorance of law is no excuse. And for law professionals, it's definitely not an excuse. So you have to be very well versed with all these procedures. And these are the only key challenges that I would say, that everything is changing so fast that to keep in track of everything is the biggest challenge. So sort of updation is required every day.
The next question is about, ma'am, I am in my eighth semester. I am still confused on which specialization should I choose. Or I think we have take this question.
Okay, so we have other similar questions also. I can see it destroys my resume, this and that. I will just advise this thing. You're in your eighth semester now. You must have done your fair share of internships by now. Choose the area of law with that most, I mean, that you like the most. It can be corporate, it can be civil, it can be litigation. If your pocket allows for litigation, that I always mention to all my students, litigation is not a very high paying job in beginning. Let me clarify this in beginning. It won't pay you much later on. It's all up to your legal advocacy and proficiency. You can earn a lot. So you can, it's your eighth semester. It's time to buckle up now. It's just 1 year left. You go through every area of interest. You can do internships. You can talk to legal experts who are already in that portfolio, and you can work and then only experience. Nobody can tell you what area of specialization you can pursue. It's all up to you.
The next question is, ma'am, I am currently pursuing BB LLB and I am in my first semester now and I am really confused in which field should I go.
So you're in your first semester. You enjoy your life till your second semester, I would say. You can dabble in everything right now. See, in your first semester, the laws that you are dealing with are not something that are that grave. But from your second year and your third year, you'll get subjects wherein you can actually focus and make a career out of it. And since you're in your first semester, the biggest benefit that you have is that you can study a subject with a perspective of making a career in that subject. The earlier that question that we had, that person is already in his eighth semester. So the ship has already sailed. For you, there's a new ground present there. I would advise you to study each subject as to see whether I can make a career in this or not. And when I say that, choose your internships also accordingly. I have seen a lot of people, a lot of law students interning under NGOs initially because that's an easy work. Even till the second years and third years, that I'm working in an NGO and all I do is to, what will that person ask you to do? I have made list of cases. I've made list of the contents I've made. Go for your internship with a mindset of working in that firm, understanding the working of that firm, understanding the hierarchy, and understanding the area of specialization of that firm. If your internship is of 4 weeks, make sure that by the end of third week, you know that whether this job is suiting you or not. Talk to your colleagues. What are the work timings? What is their work profile, KRA? What is their KRA? How much work are they expected to do? And then see whether it is suiting your need or not. See the location. If somebody is living in Delhi, they can easily work in digital governance as well. Gurgaon, Bangalore, digital governance, data privacy officers. But if somebody is living in, let's say, a rural area or a semi-urban area like Cuttack, or probably, let's say, Surat, might be the data privacy options are not that much. But they will have an option of maritime laws. They will have an option of more option of environmental laws. So be very clear to choose an area of specialization that suits your location, your profile, your financial needs, and your area of interest.
The next question is, any suggestion, as I am in my final year and I want to go in corporate field. So any suggestions? How do I start?
As I said, corporate field is nothing. There is nothing called corporate field. You have to be very specific which aspect of corporate field you want to take. Do you want to enter into merger acquisition? Do you want to enter into corporate compliance? Do you want to enter into corporate restructuring, that is your IBC, etc.? Do you want to enter into your this thing consultancy as to the registration of the companies, registration of LLPs, etc.? Do you want to enter into your corporate contracts, your see, there are n number corporate taxation, there are n number of small subdomains under a main domain. So you need to choose your subdomain well. Also I will suggest you one thing. If you're going for a job placement after your law field and you are entering into a corporate firm thinking that for some months I'll work in the dispute resolution, then I'll switch into merger and acquisition, my dear, this will not happen that easily. So when you are interning also, do not intern thinking that, okay, I found an internship in SAM or CAM or Trilegal or let's say Luthra. So I'll just enter into these firms. I'll do my internships in whichever department that they'll provide. And that's fine. Whenever you are interviewing with the HR or you get a mail back from the HR saying that you're selected for the internship, they won't reply this to the first, second, third year student. But if you're in your fourth year or your fifth year and you're doing assessment internships, try to ask them. If they're not even answering or if they're not responding to you on that, when you go for internship, try to squeeze your way into the department you're mostly interested in. That will help you to build your CV. That will help you to give a uniformity to your CV, and that will help you in finding a job as well.
The next question is, ma'am, I am pursuing my ninth semester. My mother is an advocate and she deals in all types of IPR related cases in Madhya Pradesh. I want to expand this consultancy. Can you suggest me something to explore more opportunities in that field?
If your mother is an advocate and already practicing in IPR is one field that has been booming since last 4-5 years, I would say, and it will boom even more. With the advent of artificial intelligence, IPR is gonna boom even more. So if you want to practice in Madhya Pradesh, you can definitely join your mother in that. And you can choose in IPR also. There are different things, trademark, copyright, a number of things. You can choose your area of expertise. Do that. You can also establish your legal firm if you want. If you can register it and do an IPR practice there. If you want to cover other avenues in different cities, IPR is something that's never gonna be old. It's never gonna go out of the practice. So, and it's a very safe field, I personally feel, and it's a nice field to work in. No hassle, more financial gains. So you can join your mother initially, and then later on you can join any of the legal firm also. There are a lot of IPR firms, a lot of IPR boutique firms in Delhi, NCR, Mumbai, Bangalore. You can do that. It's a great opportunity.
Next question. Hi, ma'am. I'm free to need guidance for litigation.
Litigation as to which sort of litigation is again a thing. But if you want to pursue litigation, first of all, get yourself registered. Now, though the registration fees has also gone down, thanks to Justice Chandrachud, you can go ahead, you can register yourself in the bar, and then you can either join, see, for litigation also there are litigating firms. So you can either go and join a litigating firm, or you can join another senior advocate as a junior, initially practice there, and you can also join as a self-litigator. But I would suggest, if you are just entering the field, it's better to first, BCI has filed an appeal. Yes, I also saw that a few days back only BCI filed an appeal regarding the fees, saying that it's the main source of the income. Good luck to all those people who got registered in the meantime. Benefits for you all. But yes, as I was saying that for litigation, I would suggest it's better to join a senior advocate learn from them. You can mail them, you can go and find them, you can find through references, and you can meet them and join them, because that will simplify a lot of things for you. Even if you're in your 5-year loss, we know the theory, but we do not know the practice. So you can do that. And then rest, yes, litigation is also a very good field to profess a career in.
The next question is, ma'am, how to select which area of law to go for? As you mentioned, for the resume, it destroys it. For example, I'm interested in corporate law, real estate, but I have applied for internships in Advocate Pradeep Rai, which deals in civil criminal. I am studying in Goa University, and there is not much options for corporate law. Please advise.
So here I would again mention, it depends upon which year you are. If you are in a first and second year, you may go and practice. See, whenever there's anything that is destroying your resume, you must also always have a justification for it, is what I feel. If I can justify my life choices, nobody has a right to question my life choices, because they choice question my choice. I have an answer for that. So even if you are doing a civil litigation internship, and a person, suppose I am your recruiter, and I ask you that, sir, if you're saying that you're interested, your area of interest in your resume says that you wanted to pursue a career in corporate law, then why do you have a civil internship? You must always ready with an answer that probably I was just dabbling to see whether I'm interested in civil litigation or not. But this is just an answer to give others. Then answer to give yourself, when your self-conscious asks you that why did you destroy a resume like this, you must have an answer for that. And for that, always stick to your area of interest. If I do not get an internship for a certain semester, hell is not gonna fall on me. I may go to any of the court, find a lawyer there who is practicing, and be like, sir, rakh lo mujhe, because any which way internship is not paying you, na. I'll give you two options. There's one student who has, let's say, in their first, because this is a very common thing for first and second year student, that I interned under Salman Khurshid. Most of the interns under Salman Khurshid are your first and second year students. Mostly, I'm telling you. It's not that I'm saying that third and fourth years do not intern under him. So I have a person in whose resume, both of them are applying for corporate job. Okay? He has worked under Salman Khurshid. Then he worked in, let's say, under a litigating lawyer in the area of constitutional law. Then next internship in family law under a lawyer. Then Luthra is there. Let's say general corporate advisory. Then there's an internship in SAM under dispute resolution. And then let's say there's an internship in trilegal in merger and acquisition. And here I have a candidate who has initially worked in civil litigation or probably criminal litigation. And after that, he's working in, let's say, tier 2 firm or tier 3 firm, all in the same department. And I need to hire a person in the same department. Who will I prefer? Who will you prefer? Obviously, the person who's having a more systematic manner of experience, a more specialized version. So this is an added benefit. This is not going to destroy things, but you have to have a justification ready. That why did you do that? So every which way, I'm not saying that you are doomed if you follow a certain practice. You are a young student. Take your life experiences, take your life risks, I would say. But at the same time, do not take this much of risk that it puts you in danger. Be always ready with the justification of life choices. If you are confident about your choices, nobody can ever ask you a question on that.
The next question is from Anshi. I am currently interning at the Human Rights Legal Network from Prayagraj from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Is that worth doing?
See, it's all up to you whether it's worthy or not. What sort of work are you doing there? That'll come as a question. If you are in your initial years of law, if you're like, it's in initial years of your law practice, it's fine. See, working in NGOs are not taboo. As I said, nothing is a taboo, and the hell will not go loose on you if you are working in a particular thing. It's all up to you that whether you can make it worth or not. Try, if they are not giving you proper sort of work, if they are giving you just reports, etc., try to squeeze in the mainstream work. Ask for work. That's if you're working in this particular case, I also want to go in court and see how you're representing them. Make your own notes. Law is a profession that will always ask you to put effort. You can never relax and chill. Even Harish Salve is not chilling. Nobody chills in legal profession. So it's all up to you. Make an extra effort and update yourself. Make it worthwhile.
The next question is from Harsh. What should I do if I am not getting work at internship?
Beg, borrow, steal. Internship scenario in India currently is this only. You mail 200 people, you get reply from 10 people. Then those 10 are also not on the day of internship. They're like, sorry. I mean, internship scenario is very bad. So try to get an review of your recruiter beforehand. That what sort of work are they giving to interns? If there are seniors in your college who have already worked under some law firms or advocates, try to get knowledge from there. And what sort of work are they given? Uh, Ask them for reviews. You can find reviews of recruiter on Law Octopus. Glassdoor is there. Ambition Box is there. You can see the reviews there, and then sort out whether I really want to work there or not. If they are still not doing, then go and ask work. Every law firm and every lawyer has plenty of work to delegate. They'll delegate you something or the other. Make your mistakes and learn from them.
And the next question is from Vinita Patak. Ma'am, till which year should we figure out our area of interest?
Ma'am, there is no particular answer to that. There are lawyers who are like 40-year-olds still figuring out their area of interest. It's the early you do that, the better it is. It's better that you do it while you are in your law school. But even if you have not done it, again, it's nothing bad in it. You can go ahead, still figure out. We all are figuring out our life till date. So it'll take some time. But yes, choose what you're most comfortable in.
The next question is from Arvinesh Trivedi. I am currently in the fifth semester of my LLB program, and my area of interest is intellectual property rights. I would like to know how to start a career in this field and gain practical experience, given that I have no prior experience. Additionally, I am curious about the challenges one might face while pursuing a career in IPR.
Okay, IPR. So see, I already answered this question before, so I'll not take much time. You can, if even if you're a first gen lawyer and if you want to make a career in IPR, theory part you're well versed, that's good. Practical aspect, try to do more internships. Try to find assessment internships. Try to find PPOs. If you cannot do that, you can start as an individual practitioner. You can join a law firm who is practicing IPR, and you can also join any lawyer, individual litigant, and squeeze your way in the industry.
And ma'am, tips to make the best out of our internships as first year law student.
You are in your first year. There's a lot of things that are awaiting you. So in your first year, just observe, I would say. In your court visit, just observe. Observe your seniors, observe your people you are working under, how they are working. Because in your first year, you also do not understand laws that well. After your third year, once you complete third year, Bini, after your fourth year, once you study corporate law, business law, banking law, taxation, jurisprudence, constitution, after that, contracts, TPA, after that, you start to get the essence of what is going in front of you. So try to right now try to observe things, and then later on, as and when you study things, try to sort of imbibe as much as you can. And from a fourth year onward, never take your internships lightly, because that's like a deal breaker then.
And there are no questions more.
Okay,
Now we will just give me a second.
sure. It
Ma'am,
was
practicing as a lawyer is best or going in corporate is worth?
I cannot answer that. It's all up to you. Practicing as a lawyer, going in the I chose academia. completely different. It's all up to you. I said in this session also, I said there are certain factors that you need to keep in mind before choosing a career. Your financial needs, your location, your area of interest, and your comfortableness, like how comfortable you are with a particular job. Some people are comfortable with desk jobs, some people are comfortable more in running here and there. So it all depends upon that. A corporate job may pay you very handsomely initially, which litigation will never do. But litigation may pay you even more handsomely once you are a good lawyer. It depends upon your skill, your interest, other factors, a lot of external factors. So that's a question that you should ask yourself.
So, as we come to the conclusion of this insightful and engaging webinar on the navigating property law, mastering legal intricacies, and building a career in the real estate law, it is my pleasure to extend a heartfelt vote of thanks to all of you for being a part of this session today. First and foremost, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to our esteemed speaker, Ms. Vidishi Verma, ma'am, for sharing her wealth of knowledge and expertise on this important and dynamic field of law. Your practical insights, valuable experiences, and clear guidance have given us a deeper understanding of the complexities of property law and its career opportunities. We are truly inspired by your words and grateful for the time and effort you have invested in empowering us with this knowledge. A special thanks to all our participants for your active engagement and thoughtful questions throughout the session. We hope this webinar has not only enhanced your understanding of property law, but also motivated you to explore its vast potential in shaping your legal career in real estate law. Also, Legal Vidya is promoting every event as a very efficiently. Like Legal Vidya has announcing some new webinars that is scheduled on 13th January, that is on BNSS. After that, Legal Vidya has various workshops that is on how to do legal research on ADR and different things, and also have a courses on CPC. So stay tuned. Once again, thank you all for your presence, and we look forward to seeing you at our future events. Have a wonderful day ahead. And once again, thank you, ma'am, for taking such a wonderful session.
Thank you so much, Paris. Thank you.
The feedback form link is provided in the chat box. You can go through there. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Now, everyone can leave the session. Happy learning. Thank you.